I'm really used to sunshine, and that's a good thing because I live in Colorado, and Colorado is one of the sunniest states. But we've had a couple gloomy days in a row, which always leaves me a little bit tired. So I want to do a sketchbook exercise that's a little bit slower paced and a little more relaxed. There's really something about this process that feels kind of slow and relaxed like a rainy day. Grab your watercolors and give them a good spritz. And then I want you to start by mixing up a couple different colors. I'm gonna go for some greens and then kind of a peachy pink color. And I recommend starting by mixing up some of these colors because if you're using a big page like this, you're gonna wanna be able to cover them and that will make it easier to have those ready to go. And I just filled up my entire page with a variety of these colors. And then I also went back and I just kind of dropped in some darker versions of those colors because I wanted some variation and some texture. And once you have your background in, since we're going slower today, you could just set this to the side, maybe go have a snack or a cup of tea, but I'm still a little impatient, so we're going to make it dry. Now, once it's dry, I want you to think of some sort of a leafy plant. The one that I'm going to be referencing is this eucalyptus that I bought the other day. Something about the way these leaves are is just so cute to me. And then on top of our background, we're going to loosely sketch this in. Try not to overthink this part. I'm not making every single one of these shapes perfect. It really is just kind of a squiggly line across the page with some of these eucalyptus-inspired shaped leaves. And then once you have your sketch, we want some sort of medium that's gonna have some coverage. I feel like using acrylic paints, but you could use any sort of a medium that has some coverage, so gouache or maybe even some crayons could be really neat. And I decided to put a couple colors down on my very messy acrylic palette, and I'm going to intentionally put them really close together so that I can dip my brush in and I can get multiple colors in one brush load. And we're going to paint the entire background. The only place we're not going to be painting is on the insides of what we drew. I'm also going to be intentionally trying to leave some space where all those stems and connections are. This process feels very methodical and almost meditative because you really have to get into all those little areas. I did switch between two different angle brushes and I was trying to make sure that I got into all the different spaces, but I'm trying not to overthink my brush strokes where I fill them in or make sure they're too smooth because I actually want some evidence of those brush strokes because I like the texture. And the paints that I used are craft paints, so they don't have the best coverage quality because they're cheaper paints. But I actually really like that because we can see a bit of that background that we initially painted through, but not very much. It's just a tiny bit. This one was so peaceful for me to paint and I really like how it turned out. As a matter of fact, it's one of the very few pieces that I wish wasn't in a sketchbook because I would kind of like to hang this up. I think I might have to repaint this.